Before opening a pub, I actually had a degree in sports coaching and sports management. I was a gym manager at one point before opening this place, so my job at the time was telling people what not to drink, what not to eat to try and stay healthy. Taking over a pub, you're like, have as many pints as you want within reason, have some fried food. It was quite a change in the circumstances. For me, I grew up in the Highlands, and the pub was your local, and that's where everyone did sort of go together, and community is a very important thing, I think, in a pub. We had someone who took their first date here, got engaged here, and then came in afterwards to celebrate their marriage with a drink as well. So, we've actually brought people together, and it's a lovely feeling. If you want, I would say, the best beer selection in Glasgow, then this is definitely the place to try. It's not the greatest pitch in the world, but My name is Sandy McMillan, and I am the co-owner of Indeep. Indeep is a pub on the river Kelvin. Our USP, I would say, would be we're in old railway arches. So there used to be an old train station just along the road from where we are just now. So these arches used to be used for toilets, for storage, years gone by. Then it became a pub, I think in the 80s, a pub called O'Henry's. After that was a pub called the Big Blue, and then finally Indeep came to be in 2012. When we first got the keys to here, there was a delay getting the keys, so we thought we were going to have a month to do, rip out, prep everything. There was a delay. We got the keys 10 days before we were meant to open, so everything was just done at 100 miles an hour in here to try and get ready. Like there's a glitter disco ball just above you that was still getting installed as we opened the doors, so that's 14 years old this year as well. It's right above the camera, yeah. I always find it difficult sort of blowing smoke up your arse, as it were. I love this place. That if you want, it's got a dive bar feel to it, so if you want to maybe sample a bit of Glasgow dive bar energy, come down one night and see what we've got. When I was doing my studying for the sports course, I was actually running pubs at the same time. So I actually ran a private members club called the Hallion when I was 20. Now it's known as Hummingbird. That was a real sort of introduction into running pubs and what to do. And it was a bit more high end. So you were dealing with really fancy cocktails, expensive champagnes, some of the sort of local celebs in Glasgow and sort of further afield. And then got the chance to take this place over because the Williams brothers wanted to open a pub. So I came in along with Williams brothers' two kids and another friend, Hamish, who's the co-owner. So when this place came on, it was such a a unique setting that it was well worth coming and having a look at. And as soon as we saw it, we thought, we can put our own stamp on this. At the time, craft beer was just starting to take off, so it was on the on the cusp of being a much more popular style of beer, and we were quite lucky with Williams being an independent craft brewer. 19 rotational craft taps at all times. We've got another 20 beers on the front, so we've got a lot of choice for people now.
I was going to say that, nearly 40 beers on tap.
Yes, well, 42 if you include a double line for Guinness. We're still looking to expand more. You always want to support as many Scottish brewers as you can.
Do you have a favourite or a standout that you've been able to get behind bar?
At the moment, I would have to say Superboc, which is the Portuguese lager. Ever since we've had it on, it's done so well.
Is there a reason you got tenants?
It's not out of badness. At the time, because we were selling Williams Brothers, they had a craft lager. It made no sense to us to have a Scottish craft lager and then Tennent's as well. I think it would have taken away from the Williams brothers and what we were trying to achieve at the time with it being a craft beer bar. That's not a slight on Tennent's at all. I know everyone loves a big juicy every now and then, but for us not to have it, it just means that people will try something else, and actually pushes them on to trying other lagers, and we can say, right, you like Tennent's, why don't you try a wee sample of this? One thing we do pride ourselves on in here is making sure that you're getting the pint that you want, something that you'll enjoy and maybe want to have again. And that's where the staff's knowledge comes in, because they might try a beer that they've never thought they would have before and go, wow, I love sour beer now. And it's great to see, that's quite a fulfilling thing for us as well. For me, I grew up in the Highlands, and the pub was your local, and that's where everyone did sort of go together. And community is a very important thing, I think, in a pub. Because if you don't have that sense of community, then I think you lack a bit of support. Even so much as the little thing like giving a local dog a biscuit out the door, it just cements that sort of community feeling that we have, and you get to chat to the various people that come past every day. One of the big things we do is we sponsor a lot of societies from the uni. So the biggest ones are the Ski Society and the Fashion Society. So obviously two very different societies in itself. They like to have parties. So recently we've actually had Valtos playing in here, which was an incredible night. Very busy, very sweaty, but they've obviously now gone on to headline Drum. They just did the opening ceremony for the Commonwealth Games at the Hydro, so huge for them, but it was huge for us to have them in at the time. We've also done, I don't want to say a rip-off of boiler rooms, but we've done a utility room or two in here where we've had DJ set up in the round. We take all the tables out of here. Great night to have as well. With that, we also have poetry nights, we have an open mic, we do quizzes, whether you're coming in and you want a beer or a wine or a whiskey or a spritz, we've got something for everyone. The parents can come in here with their kids and have something to eat and have a drink. Or there was a time where we were voted the best place to come on a first date for 6 years in a row when the list used to do the awards. That was an achievement for us as well, because it meant that people were comfortable coming in and felt like it was like a cool, quirky venue to sit and meet someone for the first time as well. We had someone who took their first date here, got engaged here, and then came in afterwards to celebrate their marriage with a drink as well. So, we literally have, I feel like Cilla Black here saying this, but we've actually brought people together and they've gone on to get married. So it's a lovely feeling.
Yeah. I mean, nobody does that just for fun. So it's like,
no,
Something must be worth it.
it's a commitment.
Where did the name In Deep come from? I know there's a great fun.
There's a lore behind it. We were in here one night just trying to come up with a name. We had tunes on, as you always do, so songs were coming and going. And one came on called Last Night a DJ Saved My Life, and that's by a group called In Deep, which is I-N Deep. And of course we were like, well, it's a pub, let's add an extra N, In Deep, there you go. And that sort of stuck. The amount of times I'd get in a taxi and say In Deep, and you'd get a funny look in the rearview mirror, and then you'd be like, it's the old Big Blue. But I think we've shaken off that moniker now. Enough time's passed that I think people can see the difference between the two.
Is that one of those sort of like key milestones? You're like, right?
Oh yeah, I think it's funny. Like, maybe it's a rite of passage getting in a taxi and being able to say where and not have to explain. Taxi drivers start knowing where they're going. Then you're actually doing something well. The easy way to measure success is if you're still open now. The industry on the whole has struggled a bit, and still being able to have staff and just keep the doors open, really. There was a point when I used to have Guinness, and I remember a group of like 14 people coming in, maybe it was a Christmas night out, coming in and going, 13 drinks orders came, and the last one went, oh, they don't have Guinness, and everyone just turned and walked out. So it's as much as having one specific product that keeps people here as well. Good food offering if you have a kitchen, I say a great atmosphere, a welcoming environment. You want people to come in and be made to feel like they're welcome and want to stay. Do you know, the very first weekend that we were open, I've always been a massive fan of Optimal. We were lucky enough to have Keith come down, so Twitch came down and played for us on the opening weekend. So just to see him playing in here was such a massive, wow, one of our musical heroes is playing in our pub. That was really, really cool. He's since sadly passed away this year as well, so it always will stick with me that we got him to play in here. Even though it was 14 years ago, still just makes me so happy that we got to achieve that so early on. Just seeing the place busy and people enjoying themselves, the days when the bar's full and then the outdoor area is full as well, when you get to just stand back and look at that and you feel such a sense of achievement, because we've created this, we've made it somewhere that people do enjoy coming, and it's such a sort of heartwarming moment that you can see smiles on people's faces while they're enjoying a drink with their pals, and I mean, to me that's what it's about. That's what I feel. If I can see people happy where they are, then I'm doing my job right.